They say the greatest betrayal in life comes from the person you love most. Hello, I'm Eunyoung. Please listen to my heartbreaking story. I'm 68 years old this year. I worked as a caregiver for 30 years. I lost my husband when I was 41, and I've been alone ever since. My son Minjin was 11, and my daughter Sohee was 8 at the time. I still vividly remember that day, standing at the funeral home holding both children's hands. I had no idea how I would survive, but I made a promise to myself. I would raise these children well, no matter what. Before you continue watching, please hit the subscribe and like buttons. It really helps. At first, I worked at restaurants and did cleaning jobs. Then I got my caregiver certification. I worked day and night. I went from house to house taking care of elderly people, preparing their meals, bathing them, and taking them to the hospital. It was hard, but it was also rewarding. Most of all, I was grateful that I could pay for my children's tutoring. Minjin was really smart. He got into a prestigious university's computer science program, and after graduation, he got a job at an IT company. A few years later, he started a startup with his friends. I was worried at first, but Minjin's company kept growing. They got investments and hired more employees. My son being a company CEO felt like a dream. So he wasn't as academically strong as Minjin, but she was diligent and kind. She graduated from teachers college and became a middle school teacher. She met a good man and got married. My son-in-law was a sincere man working at a large corporation. My grandson Junho was born too. I couldn't ask for anything more. As I watched my children settle into their lives, I finally felt at peace. Only after turning 60 did I have the leisure to look back on my own life. I lived alone in a small 2-room villa, working only 3 or 4 days a week. In my bank account was $80,000 I had saved my entire life. It was my retirement fund. Minjin called occasionally. "Mom, how's your health? Let me know if you need anything." But it was obvious he was busy, so he contacted me more often. She called at least once a week and invited me to her house once or twice a month. Seeing my grandson Junho was my greatest happiness. Then one day, 5 years ago, so he called me. "Mom, if you have time, come to our house. I need to talk to you about something." I went to my daughter's house with a happy heart. Junho ran out from the entrance to greet me. "Grandma, I missed you." When we sat in the living room, so he brought it up. "Mom, you invest in stocks these days, right?" "No, I don't know anything about that stuff," I answered. So he smiled and said, "Mom, stocks are profitable these days. My friends' moms are all doing it, and the returns are good. Why don't you try it, Mom?" I shook my head. "No, that stuff scares me. I feel more comfortable just keeping it in the bank." So he held my hand. "Mom, how much is the bank interest?" "It's not even $10,000 a year. With stocks, you could make $100,000 a year. You need to grow your retirement fund, Mom." My son-in-law chimed in. "Mother, stocks are the trend these days. I'm doing it too. If you stick to safe stocks, it's fine." I hesitated. "Still, I'm worried." So he spoke again. "Mom, I'll look into everything for you. If we do it under your name, there'll be tax issues, so I'll do it under my name. You just need to give me the money. Trust me." I worried about it for several days. My daughter wouldn't do anything bad. She's saying this for my sake. Eventually, I transferred $80,000 to Sohee's account. So he said on the phone, "Mom, don't worry. I'll manage it well. I'll give you good news soon." The first few months were fine. So he told me on the phone, "Mom, we've made $20,000 profit so far. I'll sell when it goes higher." I was happy. I was right to listen to my daughter. But about 6 months later, so he stopped answering my calls. When she did answer, she said she was busy and hung up quickly. I felt anxious. Did something go wrong? One day, I heard on the news that the stock market had crashed. My heart sank. I urgently called Sohee. "Sohee, are our stocks okay?" Sohee's voice trembled. "Mom, I'm sorry. They dropped a lot." "How much?" I asked. After a long silence, so he said, "Almost everything is gone. There's only about $15,000 left now." I couldn't believe my ears. What? $80,000 became $15,000? $65,000 disappeared? "Mom, I'm sorry. I misjudged." So he choked up. I felt tears coming but held them back. "Well, it can't be helped. The money's already lost. Just withdraw what's left." So he answered, "If I sell now, the loss is confirmed. If we wait a bit longer, it might go back up." I was angry but held it in. "Okay, you handle it." But my heart wasn't at ease. I couldn't sleep at night. The money I'd saved my entire life had disappeared in an instant. A few days later, Minjin called me. "Mom, what's going on?" I asked. "What do you mean?" Anger was mixed in Minjin's voice. I heard you invested in stocks under Sohee's name. $80,000. And it all disappeared. I was flustered. How did you know? Sohee told me. She said she's so stressed she's going crazy. Minjin's voice got louder. Mom, all my friends know. They know my mom lost money in stocks. My reputation is damaged. How can I show my face anywhere? I was dumbfounded. Why does reputation matter? What matters is that my money is gone. Minjin, Mom is having a hard time right now. Give me some comfort. But Minjin said coldly, Mom, honestly, I'm disappointed. Why did you act so recklessly? I'm not going to contact you for a while. And he hung up. I sat there in a daze. What did I do wrong? My daughter suggested it. I lost my retirement fund, but why is my son only worried about his reputation? So he changed too. She barely called, and never suggested meeting. When I called first, she answered curtly. Mom, I'm busy. I'll call you later. And then she hung up. Months passed. I suffered alone in silence. I eventually withdrew the remaining $15,000. I put it in the bank, but my heart felt empty. I never imagined that the money I'd saved penny by penny for 30 years would disappear like this. One day, Sohee called me. Mom, I need to talk to you. Please come to our house. I cautiously went to my daughter's house. Sohee's expression was dark. My son-in-law also looked uncomfortable. When we sat in the living room, Sohee said, Mom, honestly, we're not doing well financially. My salary barely covers our living expenses. I nodded. Yes, prices have gone up a lot these days. So he continued. Mom, what if you sell your house and live with us? Your $500,000 deposit would really help us pay off our loans. In return, we'll give you a room and we'll eat together. My heart sank. Sell my house? Sohee, I need my house to feel at peace. Sohee's expression hardened. Mom, I'll be honest. I'm extremely stressed because you lost that money. My husband is uncomfortable too. If you come to our house, you can watch Junho and help with housework, right? I was speechless. In the end, it became my fault. It was an investment my daughter suggested, but now I had to help with my daughter's household. I worried about it for several days, but I had no choice. Minjin wasn't even contacting me, and only Sohee remained by my side. Eventually, I sold the two-room villa I'd been living in. It was a house I lived in for 30 years. That house was full of memories with my husband. Memories of raising my children. Tears came as I packed. I gave the $500,000 deposit to Sohee. Sohee thanked me, but her eyes were cold. I moved into a small room in my daughter's house. From that day, the darkest time of my life began. They say the loneliest moment is when you're surrounded by people. Life at my daughter's house was much harder than I expected. The first few days were okay. Sohee had cleaned the room nicely, and Junho was happy that Grandma had come. But after a week, the atmosphere changed. I woke up at 6 in the morning and carefully opened my door. As I walked down the hallway to the bathroom, Sohee came out of her room. Mom, please flush the toilet more quietly. You're waking up my husband and Junho. I nodded, flustered. Okay, I'm sorry. I went to the kitchen to prepare breakfast. When I opened the refrigerator, Sohee was suddenly standing behind me. Mom, don't open the refrigerator on your own. If you need something, ask me. I withdrew my hand and said, I was going to make breakfast. Sohee sighed. Mom, I'll make breakfast. You just help Junho get ready for school. Junho was in 3rd grade, still an age that needed a lot of Mom's help. Junho, Grandma will help you get dressed, I said. Junho replied, Grandma, I can dress myself. Mom told me to do it myself. I looked at Junho with a lonely heart. It was breakfast time. There were 4 seats at the table, but there was no seat for me. So he said, Mom, eat in your room. We're busy because we have to get the kids to school and go to work. I took my bowl of rice and went into my room. Why does rice eaten alone taste so bitter? After Sohee and my son-in-law left for work, I did housework. I washed dishes, did laundry, and cleaned. I made my own lunch and ate it, and in the afternoon, I waited for Junho to come home. When Junho returned from school, I prepared snacks for him and helped with his homework. But Junho wasn't the same as before either. Grandma, I have to go to academy. Mom told me to do homework by myself. Junho didn't want my help. Or more precisely, Sohee didn't want it. Around 6 in the evening, Sohee came home from work. When I heard the front door open, I went into my room. Sohee looked around the house and said, Mom, is this the best you can clean? Look at all this dust. I came out and apologized. I'm sorry, I'll do it again. Sohee prepared dinner. I said I'd help, but Sohee waved her hand. Mom, it's okay. When you do it, it's not my style and I have to redo it. Just stay in your room. I returned to my room as if I'd been kicked out. I wasn't called for dinner either. So he knocked on my door. Mom, I'll bring you food. So he brought me rice and side dishes on a tray. I could hear the family laughing and eating together at the dining table in the living room. I ate alone in my room. I held back tears that were about to fall. About a month later, so he started complaining in earnest. Mom, why did you do the laundry like this today? How could you wash colored clothes and white clothes together? I said cautiously, I'm sorry, my eyes have been blurry lately. So he got irritated. Mom, then get new glasses. I have to throw away all my clothes. Another day it was like this. Mom, go grocery shopping today. She gave me a shopping basket and a note. I went to the market, but it wasn't easy to find the items so he had written down. Markets these days are too big and confusing. I wandered around for a long time before returning home. So he checked the shopping basket and got angry. Mom, I said not this. I asked for sugar. Why did you buy salt? I checked the note. It looked blurry, so I must have read it wrong. I'm sorry, I'll go exchange it. So he sighed. Never mind, I'll buy it tomorrow on my way to work. Mom, don't go shopping anymore. After that day, I wasn't allowed to do anything. When I cleaned, she cleaned again. When I did laundry, she ran it again. When I washed dishes, she washed them again. I gradually stayed only in my room. Junho also distanced himself from me. Grandma, kids at school teased me. They said we're poor because Grandma lives at our house. Junho's words tore my heart apart. Junho, Grandma is sorry. Junho turned his head away. Grandma, don't come to school anymore. All my friends see you. My relationship with my son-in-law was also uncomfortable. My son-in-law never welcomed me from the start. Mother, the house feels cramped with you here. I want to rest in the living room when I come home from work. At my son-in-law's words, I always had to go into my room. One night I heard Sohee and her husband fighting. How long is your mother going to stay here? It was my son-in-law's voice. Please just be patient. Mom's money helped us pay off our loans a lot. So he answered. Still, uncomfortable is uncomfortable. We have to cook separately too. My son-in-law got annoyed. I pulled the blanket over my head and covered my ears. I had become a burden. I gave them $500,000, but that was that and now was now. To Sohee's family, I was an empty shell that had used up all the money. Minjin still hadn't contacted me. I called him several times but he didn't answer. I sent a text. Minjin, it's Mom. How are you doing? I miss you. But no reply came. One day I gathered courage and went to Minjin's company. His secretary stopped me. Ma'am, the CEO is in a meeting. I waited for an hour, but Minjin didn't come out. The secretary came again. I'm sorry, but he says his schedule is packed today. Please come another time. I turned away with heavy steps. I knew my son was avoiding me. He was ashamed of me. The incompetent mother who lost money in stocks. The mother who tarnished her son's reputation. Several months passed like that. I gradually spoke less and less. I didn't greet anyone in the morning, and when Sohee said something, I just said okay. Looking in the mirror, my face had become haggard. My hair was falling out a lot, and I had lost weight. One day, my friend's sister Sunja called. Eunyoung, how are you doing these days? Why does your voice sound like that? I answered that I was fine, but sister Sunja noticed. Eunyoung, is something wrong? Tell me. But I couldn't tell her. I'm really fine, sister. I'm doing well. Sister Sunja was my best friend. We started caregiver work together and relied on each other during hard times. Sister Sunja lived well with her husband, and her children turned out well. But a few years ago, her husband passed away and her health deteriorated. I heard she's been in a nursing home these days. I visited Sister Sunja once a month. The nursing home was an hour away from home. Sister Sunja was happy to see me, but she had become very thin. Eunyoung, thank you. You visiting me gives me strength. I held her hand. Sister, take care of your health. We need to see each other for a long time. One day Sohee called me. Mom, I need to talk to you. I went to the living room and Sohee and her husband were sitting there. Sohee said, Mom, I'll be honest. Having you here is a burden to us. Of course we're grateful that you watched Junho, but there are more inconveniences than that. My son-in-law chimed in. Mother, I'm sorry, but I also want to rest comfortably in my own home. When you're here, I feel watched and uncomfortable. I was speechless. So what do you want me to do? So he said, Mom, have you ever thought about a nursing home? There are a lot of good ones these days. If you go there, there are people your age, meals are provided, and there are programs. I shook my head. No, I won't go to a place like that. So he sighed. Mom, then what should we do? We're struggling too. If you hadn't lost that money, you could have lived comfortably in your own house. Those words pierced me like a dagger. In the end, everything was my fault. That night I couldn't sleep. I lay in my small room and stared at the ceiling. Is this what my life has become? I struggled for 30 years raising my children, and now I'm treated like a burden? Tears flowed. I woke up at dawn and searched through the drawer. I found an old notebook. It was a small notebook with a silver cover. My husband had given it to me when he was alive. When I opened the notebook, I saw my husband's handwriting. Eunyoung, I love you. Let's be happy together. I hugged the notebook tightly. That notebook contained happy memories. The day I dated my husband, the day Minjin and Sohee were born, the day I traveled with Sister Sunja. Everything was hazy like faded photographs. I endured each day looking at that notebook. It was the only proof that I had once been happy. Every morning I went to the park. I sat on a bench and opened the silver notebook. People passing by looked at me, but I didn't care. During this time, at least, I was myself. One day I met another elderly woman at the park. She spoke to me. Are you alone? May I sit with you? I nodded. I talked with her. She also lived at her son's house. Isn't it hard? I asked. The woman sighed. It's hard. But what can I do? I have nowhere to go. I just nodded. We didn't say anything more. We knew each other's situations. The road back home was heavy. When I opened the front door, I had to watch people's faces again and hide in my room. This is my remaining life. Despair washed over me. That night I wrote something new in my silver notebook. I endured today. I'll endure tomorrow. Someday this time will pass too. But in one corner of my heart, I knew I couldn't live like this. They say even in the darkest night, there are small stars. My life at my daughter's house was entering its 3rd month. I felt like I had become completely invisible. No one greeted me when I woke up in the morning, and I stayed in my room all day long. It was as if no one even knew whether I existed or not. My only pleasure was going to the park early in the morning. After Sohee's family all left, I would carefully open the front door. Like a thief, I took the elevator down and headed to the park. Sitting on the park bench, my heart felt a little more at ease. I took out the silver notebook and opened it. There was a photo with my husband. It was from our newlywed days. My husband was smiling brightly, and I looked happy too. I miss you, I whispered. On the next page were childhood photos of Minjin and Sohee. Minjin was 6 years old and Sohee was 3. It was kindergarten sports day. Both children were holding my hands and smiling. We were truly happy back then. I stroked the photo. On another page was a photo with Sister Sunja. It was from about 20 years ago when we traveled to Jeju Island. We were both young and healthy. Eunyoung, let's go see the ocean, Sister Sunja had said. That day we walked along the beach and talked. Let's stay together like this even when we're old. We had promised each other. As I turned the pages of the notebook, I lost track of time. Happy memories unfolded page by page. When I got my first paycheck, when Minjin got into college, when Sohee passed the teacher certification exam. These were all moments I had been proud of. One day at the park, the elderly woman I'd met before spoke to me again. You come out often these days. I come out at this time too, the woman said with a smile. I nodded. Yes, I like this time. I gradually became close with the woman. Her name was Kim Sunok. She was 2 years older than me and said she lived at her daughter-in-law's house. She said she lived watching people's faces just like me. We understood each other's situations. We could tell without speaking. Eunyoung, you look at that notebook often. What kind of notebook is it? Sunok asked. I showed her the notebook. It contains happy memories. Sunok flipped through the notebook. How nice that you have these memories. Sunok also told me her story. Her husband had passed away 10 years ago, and she had one son. She said her daughter-in-law was a decent person, but living together was still uncomfortable. We patted each other's shoulders. When I returned home, it was reality again. When Sohee came home from work, I had to go into my room. I ate dinner alone in my room, and at night I fell asleep listening to Sohee's family's laughter. One day, Junho knocked on my door. Grandma, please help me with my homework. I asked in surprise, won't your mom scold you? Junho shook his head. Mom is busy right now. Please help me, Grandma. I was happy. I helped Junho with his homework and talked with him. Is school fun? Are you getting along well with your friends? Junho answered. Yes, Grandma. Math is difficult these days. I slowly explained it to him. I felt proud seeing Junho understand. After that, Junho occasionally came to my room. Of course, it was without Sohee knowing. Grandma, how do I solve this? Grandma, this happened at school. My time with Junho became a great comfort to me. But one day, Sohee found out. Junho, what are you doing in Grandma's room? Sohee opened the door wide. Junho was flustered. Mom, I was doing homework. So he dragged Junho out. Don't go to Grandma anymore. Ask Mom. Junho was choking up, but Sohee was firm. I was alone again. Even my time with Junho had been taken away. That night, I opened the silver notebook again. Inside the notebook were also things I had written down, resolutions I had written during hard times. I endured well today. Let's endure well tomorrow too. It's enough if the children do well. I comforted myself by reading such writings. But now that alone wasn't enough. It was important for the children to do well, but my life was also important. I called Sister Sunja. Sister, how are you these days? Sister Sunja's voice had grown weak. Eunyoung, I'm very sick these days. I'm getting a lot of tests at the hospital, but I don't really know. I was worried. Sister, I'll come. Just wait a little. The next day I went to the nursing home. Sister Sunja was lying in bed. She had become very thin. Eunyoung, you came. Thank you. Sister Sunja held my hand. I held her hand tightly. Sister, hang in there. You'll get better soon. Sister Sunja said, Eunyoung, how are you doing? Your expression hasn't been good lately. I said I was fine. But Sister Sunja wasn't fooled. Eunyoung, tell me honestly, what's wrong? I eventually told her everything. Losing money in stocks, selling my house and moving into my daughter's house, living watching people's faces every day. Sister Sunja squeezed my hand tightly. Eunyoung, I'm sorry that I can't help you by your side. You did nothing wrong, sister. It's because I was foolish. I shed tears. Sister Sunja also shed tears. Eunyoung, you must be happy. You've only suffered your whole life. Now you deserve to be happy. The conversation with Sister Sunja was a great comfort. On my way home, I thought, Sister is right. I also deserve to be happy. But I didn't know how. When I got home, so he was standing there with an angry face. Mom, where did you go? Without even contacting me, I answered carefully. I went to Sister Sunja's hospital. So he sighed. Mom, please tell me when you go out. I worry. But so his tone had more irritation than worry. If something happens to you outside, they'll contact us. Then we have to deal with it. I nodded and said I understood. That night I opened the silver notebook again. Looking at my husband's photo, I said, did you know I would live like this? I struggled my whole life raising the children, and now I'm treated like a burden. What would you have done? I wrote something new in the notebook. I met Sister Sunja today. She's very sick too. I'm having a hard time. But Sister looked like she's having an even harder time. Still, Sister told me to hang in there. She's a grateful person. On the next page I wrote this. Can I be happy someday too? I can't live like this every day. Change is needed. But I don't know what to do. Going to the park every morning became routine. I sat on the bench with Sunok and talked. Eunyoung, how are you these days? Sunok asked. I answered that I was so-so. Sunok was similar. We spent time comforting each other. Sometimes other elderly people joined us. Everyone was in similar situations. People living at their children's houses watching faces. We listened to each other's stories. No one criticized anyone. Just listening was comforting. These times were precious to me. It was the only time I was treated like a person. One day, Sunok said, Eunyoung, there are many things we can do at our age. My friend does silver modeling, and it's fun. I was surprised. Silver modeling? Sunok nodded. These days, older people are very active too. That day, Sunok's words kept echoing. There are things you can do even when you're old. Couldn't I do something too? But when I returned to reality, it felt hopeless. I had no money, no house, nothing. I came home and lay in my room. I looked at the ceiling and thought, how should I live from now on? Should I continue living at my daughter's house watching faces like this? Do I have to live like this until I die? I took out the silver notebook again. On the last page, I wrote something new. I'm still alive. I'm breathing. Then I can do something. Let's not give up. Someday an opportunity will come. But I didn't know when that would be. Just enduring each day was exhausting. When I opened my eyes in the morning, I sighed, and when I fell asleep at night, I wished tomorrow wouldn't come. Still, I couldn't give up the silver notebook. This notebook was proof that I had lived. And it was a record of my happy moments. Only when looking at the notebook could I remember that I was once a loved person. One day, Junho secretly came to my room. Grandma, I missed you. Junho hugged me. I hugged Junho tightly. Grandma missed Junho too. Junho whispered, Grandma, why do you always stay in your room? I couldn't answer. How could I explain to Junho that your mom dislikes Grandma? That Grandma is a burden in this house. I just stroked Junho's head. Grandma is okay, don't worry. But Junho knew that Grandma was sad. Grandma, when I grow up, I'll live with you. I'll buy you a house. Tears came at Junho's words. Thank you, my Junho. Grandma will stay healthy until then. After Junho left, I cried for a long time. How sad it is that an 8-year-old grandson worries about his grandmother. My situation was too miserable. That night I wrote in the silver notebook again. Junho comforted me. An 8-year-old child worries about me. Is this right? I'm the adult. I'm ashamed, but grateful. Junho, Grow up healthy. As I closed the notebook, I thought, someday this situation will change. It will definitely change. I won't give up. But I didn't know the change would come this quickly. They say life's turning points come at the most unexpected moments. It was one morning. I was preparing to go to the park as usual. My phone rang. It was an unknown number. I almost didn't answer because of all the voice phishing these days, but I answered just in case. Hello, I said cautiously. Is this Ms. Eunyoung? A man's voice said. Yes, that's me. Who is this? I'm lawyer Kim Tae-han from Jungi Law Firm. I'm calling regarding Ms. Park Sunja. Sister Sunja? What's wrong? My heart sank. Did something happen to her? Ms. Park Sunja passed away a month ago. At the lawyer's words, I almost collapsed. What? Sister Sunja passed away? That can't be. I saw her 3 months ago. I couldn't believe it. The family held a quiet funeral. The deceased left a will, and she left part of her estate to you, Ms. Eunyoung. I held the phone, speechless. Sister Sunja left me part of her estate? Yes, the deceased specified it in her will. Could you visit our office? I'll explain the details. After hanging up, I sat in a daze for a long time. Sister Sunja passed away. I had just seen her at the hospital 3 months ago. She had said she was very sick then. Tears flowed down. Sister, why did you leave without telling me? I told Sohee. Sister Sunja passed away. Sohee said in surprise. Really? When? A month ago. They held a quiet funeral. Sohee sighed. Mom, you must be very heartbroken. But Sohee soon returned to her routine. Mom, I still have to go to work. Take care. Sohee left like that. I stayed alone thinking about Sister Sunja. Memories with her flashed through my mind like a panorama. 2 days later, I visited the law firm. It was a large building in Gangnam. I took the elevator to the 12th floor. I told the receptionist I was looking for lawyer Kim Tae-han. A moment later, a man who appeared to be in his mid-30s came out. Are you Ms. Eunyoung? I'm lawyer Kim Tae-han. The lawyer extended his hand. I shook hands with trembling hands. Please come this way. The lawyer guided me to a consultation room. When we sat down, the lawyer took out documents. This is the will written by Ms. Park Sunja. Please take a look. The lawyer handed over the documents. I received them with trembling hands. The will said this: I leave 300 million won in deposits to my dearest friend Eunyoung. Eunyoung has only suffered her whole life. I hope she lives comfortably with this money, and I hope she will be happy. I shed tears as I read the will. Sister, thank you. Really, thank you. The lawyer waited quietly. After composing myself, I asked, are you really giving me 300 million won? Yes, that's correct. The deceased specified it clearly. However, with inheritance tax and various procedures, the actual amount you'll receive will be about 270 million won. The lawyer explained. I couldn't believe it. 270 million won? Really? When I asked again, the lawyer nodded. Yes, it will proceed without problems according to the documents. It will take about a month. Did you bring a copy of your bank book? I hurriedly took out my bank book from my bag. The lawyer received the copy. Understood. I'll proceed with the process and contact you. Do you have any questions? I shook my head. No, thank you. The lawyer handed me a business card. If you have any questions, please contact me anytime. I took the card and left the law firm. Walking down the street, I still couldn't believe it. Sister Sunja left me 300 million won. No, 270 million won. It was money I could never save in my lifetime. On my way home, I had many thoughts. How should I use this money? Should I give it to Sohee? Or share it with Minchun? But soon another thought came. Why did Sister Sunja give me this money? She said to be happy. I arrived home and went into my room. I took out the silver notebook and looked at the photo with Sister Sunja. She was smiling brightly. Sister, I'll definitely be happy. I'll do as you wished. That night I told Sohee. Sohee, Mom needs to tell you something. Sohee stopped watching TV and looked at me. What is it, Mom? Sister Sunja left Mom an inheritance. How much? Sohee showed interest. 300 million won. Exactly about 270 million won, I said. Sohee's eyes widened. Really? That much? My son-in-law also looked surprised. Mother, that's amazing. Sohee said urgently. Mom, then we can pay off all our loans. With 270 million won, we can pay off the loans and have money left over. I shook my head. No, Mom is going to use it. Sohee's expression hardened. Mom, what are you saying? What will you use it for a loan? You should give it to us, I said firmly. No, this is what Sister Sunja gave to Mom. Mom is going to use it. My son-in-law interjected. Mother, but we're family. We should share it. I shook my head. I'm sorry, but this is Mom's money. Sohee got angry. Mom, are you really going to do this? We're taking care of you, I said calmly. Sohee, Mom gave you 50 million won for the house deposit. That's not a small amount either. This money, Mom will use. So he couldn't say anything more. My son-in-law also left with an uncomfortable expression. That night in my room, I thought, now I have to make a choice. Am I going to stay here like this? Or am I going to leave? Sister Sunja told me to be happy. I can't be happy here. I worried about it for several days. Meanwhile, the lawyer contacted me. Ms. Lee Eunyoung, the deposit has been completed. Please check. I opened my banking app. 270 million won was in my account. Tears came as I looked at the numbers. This is really my money. Sister Sunja, thank you so much. I made a decision. I would leave here. I would reclaim my life. The next morning I told Sohee, Mom is leaving. Sohee asked in surprise, where are you going? Mom is going to live alone, I answered. Sohee was flustered. Mom, what are you saying? Why suddenly? I said calmly. Mom has Mom's life too. I don't think I can be happy here. So I decided to leave and live on my own. Sohee's expression hardened. Mom, are you doing this because you got money? No, it's not because of money. It's because it's hard for Mom to live here watching faces, I said honestly. Sohee was speechless. My son-in-law also had an awkward expression. Okay, Mom, then leave. Sohee said coldly. I nodded. Okay, I understand. I'll leave in a few days. From that day, I started looking for a place. I looked for studios or small office tels. There was a decent studio 30 minutes away. The deposit was 10 million won with monthly rent of 500,000 won. It was quiet and clean. I signed the contract. Move-in was a week later. During that week, I packed. There wasn't much. Just clothes, the silver notebook, and a few household items. So he didn't try to stop me. Rather, she acted as if she wanted me to leave quickly. Mom, when are you leaving? What about moving? I answered. I'll leave next Tuesday. I don't have much, so I'll take a taxi. Only Junho was sad. Grandma, where are you going? Junho held my hand. I hugged Junho. Grandma is going to Grandma's house. If you miss Grandma, call me. Grandma will tell you to come visit. Junho cried. Grandma, don't go. I comforted Junho. Junho, Grandma has to go. But I'll come visit Junho often. Don't worry. Junho cried in my arms. I also teared up. Finally, moving day came. I packed early in the morning. So he was preparing for work and said, Mom, have a safe trip. Take care. I nodded. Okay, you take care too. Junho came and hugged me before going to school. Grandma, I love you. Tears came at Junho's words. Grandma loves Junho too. Grow up healthy. I took a taxi to my new home. Looking out the car window, I thought, this is a new beginning. This is the opportunity Sister Sunja gave me. I'll never waste it. I arrived at the studio. It was small, but it was my space. I unpacked and looked around the room. Sunlight came through the window. It was warm. This is my home now. I took out the silver notebook and placed it on the desk. I looked at Sister Sunja's photo. Sister, thanks to you, I found freedom. What should I do now? Can I be happy as you wished? I made a decision. I would do something meaningful with this money. If I just spend it, it will disappear quickly. I decided to find something I could do. Something I love doing. I thought about it for several days. What I had done my whole life was caregiver work, taking care of elderly people. That work was hard, but it was also rewarding. I felt proud when I saw the elderly people's smiling faces. And I remember the elderly people I met at the park recently. They were all lonely and marginalized like me. Sunak was too. I thought it would be nice if there was a place where people like us could gather. I searched the internet. Silver cafes, senior craft workshops, elderly cultural centers. Various things came up. What caught my eye was a Silver Craft Café. It was a place where elderly people gathered to do craft activities and sold their creations. This is it, I thought. This was something I could do. I had worked as a caregiver and interacted with many elderly people, and I knew what they wanted. I felt I could create a space needed by lonely elderly people like me. The next day I immediately started looking into it. I looked for commercial spaces and made a business plan. At first it seemed daunting, but as I did it step by step, I could see the way. Sister Sunja, I'll try. I won't waste the opportunity you gave me. I promised myself. They say the best way to overcome fear is through action. It was my first night in the studio. It was an unfamiliar space, but my heart was at ease. I didn't have to watch anyone's face, and I could do whatever I wanted. I made ramen in the kitchen. I didn't know ramen eaten alone could taste this good. I woke up early the next morning. There was a lot to do. First, I had to look for commercial space. I searched online to find a suitable place. I needed a place near a subway station that wasn't too expensive. For several days, I went around to different places. I visited real estate offices and got consultations. At first it was unfamiliar and difficult, but as I did it, I became accustomed. Learning something new at my age wasn't easy, but but I couldn't give up. About a week later, I found a commercial space I liked. It was 5 minutes from the subway station, and close to a park. It was about 700 square feet. The deposit was 50 million won with monthly rent of 2 million won. It was a burdensome amount, but I felt I could do it. I talked with the real estate agent. What are you going to do here? The agent asked. A Silver Craft Café, a place where elderly people gather to do craft activities and drink tea. I explained. The agent nodded. That's a good idea. These days, cultural spaces for the elderly are needed. There are many elderly people living in this neighborhood too. You'll do well. The agent's encouragement gave me strength. I signed the contract. I paid the deposit and first month's rent. 70 million won went out, but I had no regrets. Now I had my own store. I was starting a business at 68. Next was interior design. I looked for carpenters and interior companies. I got estimates from several places. The price differences were large. The cheapest was 30 million won. The most expensive was 70 million won. After worrying, I decided on the middle price of 45 million won. If I went too cheap, problems might arise later, and if I went too expensive, I might run out of money. I consulted with an interior designer. What kind of atmosphere do you want? The designer asked. I showed the photos I had prepared. I'd like a warm and comfortable feeling, so that when elderly people come, they feel as comfortable as at home. The designer suggested, how about wood tones and warm colored lighting? And arrange the tables in round shapes. I said that sounded good. Should we separate the workshop space and cafe space? Yes, slightly separate them with partitions, but don't completely block them off. Construction proceeded for a month. I went to the site almost every day. I was excited watching the construction process. They painted walls, laid floors, and installed lights. Little by little, the space I had dreamed of was being created. During construction, I also made other preparations. I registered my business and consulted with sign companies. I had to decide on a store name. After worrying for several days, I decided Silver Craft Café. It was a name taken from my silver notebook. The sign was silver background with warm orange letters. The name Silver Craft Café shone brightly. Looking at the sign, my heart swelled. I really had my own store. Next was purchasing items. I bought materials needed for the workshop: yarn, fabric, wood, paint, brushes, scissors, glue. More things were needed than I thought. I ordered online and also went to wholesale markets. I also bought cafe supplies: coffee machine, teacups, plates, tables, chairs. Choosing each one was enjoyable. I chose cushioned chairs so elderly people could sit comfortably. I also planned workshop programs. I thought about what activities to do: knitting, embroidery, woodworking, natural soap making, candle making. I prepared various programs. I also looked for classes online. I learned directly too. I practiced knitting by watching YouTube, and registered at a cultural center to learn soap making. At first I was clumsy, but with practice I improved. I had to learn first in order to teach the elderly people. A month and a half passed. Finally the interior was finished. When I entered the store, I gasped in admiration. Warm wood tone walls and floors, cozy lighting, round tables. It was better than I had imagined. On one side was the workshop space. There was a wide work table and shelves, with materials neatly organized. On the other side was the cafe space. Comfortable sofas and tables, with a coffee machine placed there. On the wall, I hung shelves where elderly people could display their creations. The shelves were still empty, but I was happy thinking they would soon be filled with works. I also hired staff. It was a young person in their late 20s. Her name was Minji. She had a barista certification and a bright personality. Boss, your passion is amazing, Minji said. I like this space too. I told Minji my story, how I got here. Minji said she was moved. Boss, you're really amazing. I'll work hard to help you. I prepared for the opening. I made flyers and distributed them around the neighborhood. I also went to the park and handed them out to elderly people. Silver Craft Cafe is opening. It's a cultural space for the elderly. You can do craft activities and drink tea. I met Sunok. Eunyoung, I haven't seen you lately. How have you been? Sunok was happy to see me. I smiled and handed her a flyer. Ma'am, I opened a store. Please come visit. Sunok looked at the flyer and was surprised. Really? Eunyoung opened a store? That's amazing. I explained. It's a place where elderly people can gather and have a good time. You can learn crafts, and sell the works you make. Sunok was delighted. That's a good idea. I'll definitely come. I'll tell my friends too. Sunok's encouragement gave me strength. Finally opening day came. It was the most nervous day of my life. I woke up at dawn and prepared. Minji also came early. Boss, are you nervous? Minji asked. Yes, very nervous, I said honestly. I opened at 9 o'clock. At first there were no customers. Even after an hour, No one came. I was anxious. What if no one comes? Around 10 o'clock, the first customers came. It was Sunok and two of her friends. Eunyoung, congratulations. Sunok handed me a bouquet. I was so moved I almost cried. Thank you, ma'am. I guided the three of them. Please sit comfortably. I'll bring coffee. Minji brewed coffee. It smelled good. The ladies looked around and praised. This place is really nice. It's cozy and comfortable. I explained the workshop programs. You can do knitting, embroidery, soap making, etc. You can display your works here and sell them too. The profits go to whoever made them. The ladies showed interest. Really? We can sell what we make? Yes, of course, I answered. Then we can earn pocket money. The ladies were happy. Around lunchtime, more customers came. They were elderly people who had seen the flyers. In the afternoon, about 10 people came. Everyone looked around and liked it. One elderly man showed interest in woodworking. I used to do carpentry when I was young. Can I make something here? The man asked. Yes, of course. You can make simple accessories or decorations, I answered. The first day ended. More people came than I thought. About 15 people came, and 8 of them registered as members. The membership fee was 30,000 won per month. Coffee and tea were provided free, and only workshop material costs were charged separately. I talked with Minji while cleaning up. Boss, for the first day, it was good, Minji said with a smile. Yes. Fortunately, I was relieved. I'll have to work harder from now on. I came home and opened the Silver Notebook. Today I opened the Silver Craft Café. It was the first day, but more people came than I thought. I was really happy. It's thanks to Sister Sunja. Thank you. Tears came as I wrote. From the next day, I started the programs in earnest. Monday was knitting, Tuesday was embroidery, Wednesday was soap making. I assigned programs for each day of the week like this. The elderly people gradually increased. After a week there were 20. After 2 weeks there were over 30. The space was cramped. Everyone participated enthusiastically. One lady made a scarf by knitting. She made it really beautifully. Can I sell this? The lady asked. Yes, of course. What price should we set? I asked. Would 30,000 won be okay? The lady said cautiously. Actually, that was too cheap. A hand-knit scarf should be at least 50,000 won. Ma'am, make it 50,000 won. It has value because it's hand-knit. The lady was surprised. 50,000 won? Can I receive that much? Yes, you can definitely receive that, I assured her. I displayed the scarf and it sold in 2 days. You don't know how happy the lady was. Other people also started making works. Cushions made with embroidery, soap, candles, woodwork. The display space gradually filled up. Customers looked at the works and bought them. A month passed. There were over 50 members. Sales were also better than expected. Membership income, coffee sales, work sales commission. I earned about 6 million won per month. After subtracting rent and operating costs, about 3 million won remained. After paying Minji's salary and using it for my living expenses, it was just right. Of course it wasn't big money, but I was proud because it was money earned doing work I loved. The elderly people were also happy. Some people came to the workshop every day. When I come here, I'm not lonely. I make friends and have things to do. One lady said. It was the same for me. Talking with the elderly people, I was also comforted. They were all people who had gone through hard times like me. We understood and encouraged each other. One day Sunok said, Eunyoung, you're really amazing. To create a space like this, you gave hope to old people like us. I was embarrassed. Ma'am, I also gained strength thanks to you all. 3 months passed. The Silver Craft Café became famous in the neighborhood. It was also featured in the local newspaper. The title was Cultural Space for Seniors, created by 68-year-old woman. I felt proud looking at the article. That day I came home and wrote in the Silver Notebook. Just 3 months ago I was living at my daughter's house watching Faces, and now I'm running my own store. I can't believe it. I think I'm making good use of the opportunity Sister Sunja gave me. Thank you, sister. And I'm proud of myself too. They say true success begins not with others' recognition, but with reconciliation with oneself. 6 months had passed. The Silver Craft Café had now become a local landmark. Membership exceeded 100, and more than 30 people visited daily. It was bustling from 10 in the morning until 6 in the evening. The programs also became more diverse. At first we only had knitting, embroidery, and soap making, but now we added ceramics, leather crafts, and pressed flowers. We also hired instructors. Experts in each field came to teach. Sales also greatly increased. I earned about 15 million won per month. Membership fees, cafe sales, work sales, class fees. Multiple income sources emerged. After subtracting costs, about 7 million won remained per month. I hired another staff member besides Minji. It was Kyung Suk, in her mid-40s. She had caregiver experience and took good care of the elderly. Boss, working here is really rewarding, Kyung-suk said. The elderly people's works also improved in quality. At first they were clumsy, but as time passed, wonderful works emerged. A wooden toy made by one elderly man sold for 1,000,000 won. It was an intricate work he had carved himself. The man shed tears. What I made is worth 1,000,000 won. I can't believe it. I held his hand. Sir, it's because your skills are excellent. You deserve to receive that. One lady made a wall hanging with embroidery. It was a work with a landscape embroidered on it. It was delicate and beautiful. A gallery showed interest and purchased it for 500,000 won. The lady cried, saying it was the first time in her life she had sold her own work. Earning money was important for the elderly, but more important was self-esteem. They were all people who had felt like burdens to their families. But here it was different. They made something with their own hands, received recognition for it, and even earned money. Eunyoung, my life has changed thanks to you, Sunuk said. Now I can even give my daughter-in-law allowance money. Sunuk earned over 1,000,000 won per month through knitting. Her skills were really good. I also changed. I no longer watched anyone's face. I was the boss, the representative of over 100 members. When I woke up in the morning, I was excited. What will happen today? My clothing also changed. Before, I only wore old clothes, but now I wore neat blouses and pants. I also regularly got my hair done at the salon. When I looked in the mirror, I looked different. I had vitality. The elderly people also noticed my change. Boss, you've become really beautiful these days, one lady said. I answered with a smile. It's thanks to you all. I'm happy working here. Local broadcasting also came to cover us. The theme was new challenges for the silver generation. Standing in front of the camera was awkward, but I spoke confidently. Age is just a number. Even at 68, you can make a new start. The response was hot after the broadcast aired. Phone inquiries poured in. People came to observe from other regions. How did you start? How do you operate? There were many questions. I shared my experience. There were hard times, but I didn't give up. Age is not an obstacle. I said anyone can do it. One day, the district office contacted me. They said I had been selected as an exemplary social enterprise. I was invited to an award ceremony. The district head personally gave me a certificate. Representative Lee Eunyoung's efforts are a great example to the community. The district head said. I received the award and stood on stage. I had to give a thank you speech. I was nervous, but spoke calmly. I'm not a special person. I'm just an ordinary 68-year-old grandmother. But I didn't give up. You can do it too. Applause poured out. Coming down from the stage, I felt proud. It was recognition I had never received in 30 years working as a caregiver. I had become someone who contributed to society. When I returned to the workshop, the elderly people congratulated me. They had prepared a cake. Boss, congratulations. We're proud of you. Everyone applauded. I was moved to tears. More time passed. It had been a year. The Silver Craft Café was now operating stably. Revenue was steady, and members were satisfied. I bought a small apartment. It was a 500 square foot two-room. On moving day, I was deeply moved as I unpacked. Just a year ago, I was living watching faces in a small room at my daughter's house, and now I had my own home. Although small, it was entirely my space. I took out the silver notebook and placed it in the living room of my new home. I looked at Sister Sunja's photo. I came this far thanks to you, sister. Thank you so much. I'm happy just as you wished. One day, Junho called. Grandma, I miss you. It was Junho's voice. I miss Junho too. Want to come visit Grandma's house? I asked. Yes, I'll come. I'll tell Mom. Junho came on the weekend, so he brought him. We greeted each other awkwardly at the entrance. Hello, Mom. So he said. Come in and at least have some tea. I offered, but so he said it was okay. I'll just let Junho play. I'll come pick him up later. Junho and I were left alone. Grandma, your house is really pretty. Junho looked around the house. Grandma decorated it. Do you like it? I asked. Yes. Grandma is the best. I talked with Junho while eating snacks. Is school fun? How's your studying? Junho answered. Yes, Grandma. Math is fun these days. I showed Junho photos of the workshop. Grandma works here. I make things together with elderly people and teach them. Junho was amazed. Grandma, you're amazing. Can I visit sometime? Of course. If you come during vacation, Grandma will teach you how to make something. I promised. Junho smiled brightly. Seeing that smile made me happy. Around evening, So-hee came to pick up Junho. Mom, please come in. I opened the door. So-hee cautiously entered. She looked around the house and said, Mom, this place is nice. Want some tea? I asked. So-hee nodded. We sat in the living room drinking tea. An awkward silence flowed. Junho was playing in the room. Mom, how are you these days? So he asked. I'm doing well. The store is doing well too, I answered. So he nodded. I saw the broadcast. You were on it. Yes, I said calmly. So he hesitated for a while then said, Mom, I'm sorry. I treated you badly before. When I think about it now, I'm really sorry. I looked at Sohee. It's okay. It's all in the past. But Sohee kept talking. No, I was really mean when you were at our house. When I think about it now, I'm ashamed. I held Sohee's hand. Sohee, Mom understands. You must have been struggling. The situation was difficult then. Sohee shed tears. Still, I shouldn't have done that to you, Mom. Mom is okay. Rather, that experience brought me here. If I had lived comfortably then, I wouldn't have opened the workshop now, I said sincerely. Sohee lifted her head. Mom, you're really amazing. Starting a business at 68. When I'm Mom's age, I think I'll just want to rest. Age is just a number. Mom realized that too. There's still a lot I can do, I said with a smile. Sohee also smiled. It was a comfortable smile I hadn't seen in a long time. After Sohee left, I opened the silver notebook. Sohee apologized today. She was sincere. My heart feels at ease. I think my relationship with Sohee will improve now, thankfully. A few days later, I called Minjin. I wanted to hear his voice after a long time. Minjin, it's Mom. Minjin seemed surprised. Mom, what's wrong? Nothing, I just wanted to hear your voice, I said. Minjin was silent for a moment then said, Mom, I saw the broadcast. You were really amazing. Thank you, I answered calmly. Minjin continued. Mom, I'm sorry. I said harsh things to you then. When I think about it now, I'm really ashamed. It's okay, Minjin. Mom understands, I said. Tears were mixed in Minjin's voice. No, I should have been by your side when you were struggling. I only worried about my reputation. I was really a bad son. Minjin, don't say that. You're a good son. I comforted him. Minjin said, Mom, if you have time, can we meet? I'd like to visit your store too. Of course. Come anytime. Mom will treat you to coffee, I answered happily. After hanging up, tears came. They were happy tears. A week later, Minjin came to the workshop. He wore a suit and was neatly dressed. Mom. Minjin hugged me. I also hugged my son tightly. Minjin looked around the workshop. Wow, Mom, this place is really nice. There are many elderly people too. I introduced him to the workshop. The elderly people also greeted Minjin. Is this the boss's son? He's really handsome. We talked while drinking coffee. Mom, I'm really proud of you, Minjin said. Doing this at 68. I brag about you to my friends. I smiled. Thank you, Minjin. Minjin spoke seriously. Mom, I'd like to invest. How about opening more branches? It would be good if such a nice space existed in other neighborhoods too. I shook my head. No, Minjin. Mom is satisfied with this much now. If I make it too big, it will be difficult. I like being with the elderly people like this. Minjin nodded, saying he understood. I understand, Mom. If you're happy, that's the best. I held my son's hand. Thank you, Minjin. That evening, I came home and wrote in a silver notebook. I met Minjin today. It's been a year. Minjin has changed a lot. He acknowledged me. I'm really happy. Now my relationship with both children has been restored. I'm happy. I lay in bed looking at the ceiling. A year ago at this time, I was in despair in a small room at my daughter's house. I thought my life was over. But now it's different. I have my own store, my own home, and my relationship with my children has been restored. I felt I had made good use of the opportunity Sister Sunja gave me. I didn't just spend the money, I invested it in meaningful work. As a result, here I am now. Above all, regaining my self-esteem was the biggest change. I was no longer a burden to anyone. I was someone who gave hope to over 100 members, and someone who contributed to the community. Age really was just a number. Even at 68, I could make a new start and succeed. Even when I'm 70 or 80, I'll continue, as long as I can. Before falling asleep, I opened the last page of the silver notebook. Looking at photos of my husband, Sister Sunja, and my children, I whispered. I came this far thanks to you all. Thank you. And I'll continue to live well, happily. They say true reconciliation isn't about erasing the past, but building a new future upon it. A year and a half had passed since starting the business. The Silver Craft Café was now known nationwide, beyond the local region. It had been featured in various media, and similar workshops had sprung up in other regions. I didn't spare advice for them. Once a month, I met with representatives of other workshops. We shared our experiences and solved difficulties together. It was rewarding to see representatives in their 60s and 70s gathering to seriously discuss business. I had now become a completely different person. Every morning when I looked in the mirror, I saw a confident face. The wrinkles were still there, but my eyes were different. They overflowed with vitality. My closet was full of neat clothes. I no longer wore old clothes. I maintained a tidy appearance as a businesswoman. I also got my hair done at the salon once a month. One day, I made an important decision. I would formally invite Minjin and Sohee to the workshop. We had met individually, but the three of us hadn't gathered together. Now I wanted to confidently invite both children. I called Minjin first. Minjin, are you free next Saturday? Mom wants to invite both siblings. Minjin answered immediately. Yes, Mom, I'll come. I also called Sohee. Sohee, can you come to the workshop next Saturday? Minjin is coming too. Sohee hesitated for a moment then said, okay, Mom, I'll bring Junho too. I prepared while waiting for Saturday. I organized the workshop more neatly and prepared special food. Minji and Kyung-suk helped me. Boss, are you nervous? Minji asked. Yes, a little. It's been a while since the three of us gathered, I said honestly. Kyung-suk encouraged me. It'll go well, boss. Just show them your wonderful self. It was 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon. Minjin arrived first. He wore comfortable clothes instead of a suit. Mom. Minjin greeted me brightly. Welcome, Minjin. I also greeted him warmly. 10 minutes later, Sohee came. My son-in-law and Junho were with her too. Grandma. Junho ran over and hugged me. I hugged Junho tightly. Our Junho has grown so much. Sohee and my son-in-law also greeted me. Hello, Mom. Mother, it's been a while. Minjin and Sohee also greeted each other. Brother, have you been well? Yes, you too? I had them look around the workshop. I showed them the elderly people working. Minjin was amazed. Wow, Mom. This is really amazing. So many people come here. Sohee also had a surprised expression. Mom, this place is really spacious. The works are high quality too. My son-in-law also nodded. Mother, you're doing really wonderful work. One elderly lady approached. Boss, are these your family members? I introduced them. Yes, my son, daughter, son-in-law, and grandchild. The lady smiled and said, they all look good. They resemble you, boss. Junho showed interest in the workshop. Grandma, what do you make here? I explained to Junho. We make various things here. We make scarves with knitting, and toys with wood. Junho was amazed. Can I make something too? Of course. Grandma will teach you. I did simple woodworking with Junho. Junho diligently carved the wood. Minjin and Sohee looked at the works. My son-in-law enjoyed the workshop atmosphere while drinking coffee. Everyone looked comfortable. Around 4 in the afternoon, I guided them to a separately prepared space. There was a small room inside the workshop, where I had set up a dining table. I made the food myself. They were foods the children used to like. We sat down and started eating. Junho ate well, saying it was delicious. Did Grandma make this? Sohee asked. Yes, Mom made it herself. I answered. Minjin said, Mom, your cooking skills are still the same. It's really delicious. Sohee also nodded. Mom, you worked hard. We talked while eating. Minjin, is your company doing well? I asked. Yes, Mom. We're preparing a new service these days. I hope it goes well. Sohee, how's school? Sohee answered. It's okay, Mom. I became a homeroom teacher this year and the kids are nice. Junho also talked about school. Grandma, I got 100 on my test this time. How long had it been since the family gathered for a meal together? It had been a year and a half. It wasn't awkward like before. We laughed and talked comfortably. After the meal, we drank tea. A quiet moment came. I looked at both children and opened my mouth. Minjin, Sohee, Mom has something to say. Both children looked at me. I continued calmly. A year and a half ago, Mom was really struggling. I lost money in stocks, even sold my house, and lived watching faces at Sohee's place. Sohee lowered her head. Minjin also had an uncomfortable expression. I continued speaking. Back then, Mom thought life was over. There was no hope. Every day I stayed in my room thinking about when I would die. Mom, Sohee said with a trembling voice. I raised my hand to stop her. It's okay, listen. Mom still has more to say. But Sister Sunja gave Mom an opportunity. She left me an inheritance. With that money, Mom made a choice. I could have just spent it living. I could have given it to you. Minjin said, Mom, you could have given it to us then. I shook my head. No, Minjin. If I had, the current Mom wouldn't exist. Mom decided to make a new start with this money. I started a business at 68. At first I was scared. What if I fail? What can an old person do? But I tried. I learned and worked hard, one by one. The result is this workshop, I said while looking around the workshop. Minjin and Sohee were listening seriously. I spoke in a louder voice. Mom no longer depends on you. With my own strength, I bought my own house and built my own business. I'm no longer your burden. Mom has become someone who shines on her own. I've become someone who gives hope to over 100 elderly people. So he shed tears. Mom, I'm sorry. I was really bad. I looked at Sohee. It's okay, Sohee. Mom understands. I know you were struggling. But what Mom wants to say is this. Age is just a number, and you can make a new start anytime. Mom proved it. Minjin said, Mom, I'm really proud of you. I want to live like you. I looked at my son. Thank you, Minjin. You're already doing well. And I also want to say this. Mom doesn't resent you. Rather, I'm grateful. Because of that difficult time, the current mom exists. Sohee said while crying, Mom, I really regret it. Treating you like that. I hugged Sohee. It's okay, Sohee. It's all in the past now. Let's only look forward. Minjin also came over and hugged us. The three of us hugged together. Junho watched as if amazed. My son-in-law also had a moved expression. After a while, we sat down again. I said brightly, now the heavy talk is over. Let's see each other often from now on. Mom will cook for you. Minjin said with a smile, yes, Mom. How about we gather once a month? Sohee also nodded. That sounds good. I want to do that too. Junho said, I want to see Grandma often too. I hugged Junho. Yes, our Junho. Grandma will make lots of delicious things for you. That evening, after my family left, I cleaned up the workshop. Minji and Kyung-suk helped. Boss, today was really moving. Minji said. Yes, my heart feels at ease. I answered. Kyung-suk said, Boss, you were really amazing today. You were confident. I came home and opened the silver notebook. Today I invited the children to the workshop. The three of us gathered after a year and a half. Mom said everything she wanted to say. The children understood. Now it's a real new beginning. I wrote something new on the next page. Sister Sunja, look, I came this far. I didn't waste the opportunity you gave me. Now I'll live confidently as Lee Eunyoung, not just as a mother. Thank you, sister. I lay in bed thinking. So much had happened. There were moments of despair and moments of hope. But I didn't give up. The most important thing was that I regained myself. I came to stand not as someone's mother or someone's grandmother, but as one person named Lee Eunyoung. Of course, the roles of mother and grandmother are precious. But that alone wasn't enough. I also needed my own identity. The representative of Silver Craft Café, the mentor of 100 members, a person who contributes to the community. Now I was confident. I didn't shrink before anyone. I had things I had achieved and people I had helped. The next day at the workshop, Sunuk asked, Eunyoung, I heard your family came yesterday. How was it? I answered with a bright smile. It was really good. We met comfortably after a long time. Sunuk said, Eunyoung, you look really happy these days. Your face is glowing. I nodded. Yes, I'm really happy. I'm grateful I can live like this. Another lady said, we're happy thanks to you, Eunyoung. Thank you for creating this space. I said humbly, no, I'm grateful you're all here with me. But inside I was proud. I was proud that the space I created gave people happiness. This is real success, I thought. In the evening, I received a text from Minjin. Mom, I was really moved yesterday. I learned a lot seeing you. I want to live confidently like you. I love you. I also received a text from Sohee. Mom, I cried a lot last night. I'm really sorry to you, and also proud of you. I'll see you often. I love you, Mom. Tears came as I read the texts. They were happy tears. After going through the hardest period of my life, I seemed to be welcoming the happiest period now. I looked in the mirror. It was a wrinkled face, but each wrinkle was a story of my life. It was a trace of hardship and evidence of overcoming it. I said to myself in the mirror, Ms. Lee Eunyoung, you did really well. Thank you for not giving up. Continue to live well, happily. That night I wrote in large letters on the last page of the silver notebook. I am confident. I am a valuable person. I am happy. And this is just the beginning. They say life's most beautiful moment is when you realize your own worth. 2 years had passed. I was now 70 years old, but I didn't feel my age. Every morning when I woke up, I overflowed with vitality and had plenty to do. The Silver Craft Café had now become a landmark in the region. Membership exceeded 200, and there was a waiting list. The space became cramped, so we expanded into the adjacent commercial space. Staff also increased. In addition to Minji and Kyung-suk, I hired 3 more people. They were all women in their 50s and older. I provided jobs to people who needed work. The quality of the elderly people's works was also amazing. Now we held exhibitions at department stores. We held work exhibitions once a month, and many people came to visit. One elderly man became known for his woodworking. He received 5 million won per piece. The chair he made was displayed in a gallery. The man said, in my 70 years of life, I've never been recognized like this. Thank you. One lady won an award for her embroidery. She won the grand prize at a national craft competition. Watching the lady go on stage to receive the award, I cried. I was happy as if it were my own achievement. I also received a commendation from the district office. It was a community contribution award. The district head said, "Representative Eunyoung is a role model for the silver generation. You've given hope to many people." I gave a thank you speech. "I'm nothing special. I just didn't give up. You can do it too. Age is just a number." The workshop also started new programs. It was a digital education program. We invited young instructors to teach elderly people how to use smartphones, how to watch YouTube, how to take photos, how to do internet banking. At first they found it difficult, but once they learned, they enjoyed it. One lady created a YouTube channel. She uploaded knitting tutorial videos, and got over 100,000 subscribers. I also started YouTube. I uploaded the daily life of the Silver Craft Café. The process of elderly people making works, completed works, their smiling and talking faces. Many people cheered us on. Reading the comments gave me strength. I want to bring my mom to a place like this. There's so much you can do even when you're old. This is really moving. These comments gave me great strength. My relationship with Minjin and Sohee also improved. We met twice a month. We ate dinner at my house, dined out, or drank tea at the workshop. Minjin got married. He met a good person. My daughter-in-law was bright and kind. "Mother, I really respect you." My daughter-in-law said, "I want to age like you." My relationship with Sohee was also completely restored. Now we called and met comfortably. "Mom, how are you these days?" Sohee called often. "I'm doing well. How about you?" We asked about each other. Junho became a middle school student. He had grown a lot. "Grandma, I won an award at an art competition this time." Junho boasted. "Good job. Our Junho is admirable." I praised him. Junho came to the workshop during vacations. He made works together with the elderly people. "Grandma, I want to do wonderful work like you later." My heart swelled at Junho's words. I was also financially stable. I could live sufficiently on the workshop's income. I also paid off the apartment loan. Now my house completely became mine. I also saved money. I saved 1,000,000 every month. It was preparation for later. If I got sick, I would need hospital fees, and I had to prepare for any contingency. But more important than money was peace of mind. I was no longer anxious. I gained confidence that I could live by my own strength. I often thought of Sister Sunja. Without her, the current me wouldn't exist. I often went to her grave. I laid flowers and talked with her. "Sister, I'm living well. I'm happy just as you wished." "Thank you, sister. My life changed thanks to you." I always gave thanks before her. One day, we prepared a special event at the workshop. It was the second anniversary event of the Silver Craft Café. We invited the elderly people who had been with us, and also invited families. On the day of the event, the workshop was filled with people. Elderly people, families, local residents, media people. Over 200 people gathered. I stood on stage. I held the microphone and greeted everyone. "Hello, I'm Eunyoung, representative of the Silver Craft Café." Applause poured out. 2 years ago, I had nothing. No money, no house, no hope. But I didn't give up. I started telling my story. I started a business at 68, and came this far with many people's help. I especially thank my late friend Park Sunja. My voice trembled. And I thank all the elderly people here. Without you, this workshop wouldn't exist. You are the protagonists. The elderly people applauded. Finally, I thank my children. Minjin, Sohee, thank you for believing in Mom. I looked at Minjin and Sohee in the audience. Both were shedding tears. I spoke in a louder voice. "Everyone, age is just a number. I'm 70 years old, but I take on new challenges every day. You can do it too. Don't give up. There's no such thing as too late. You can make a new start anytime. Like me." Applause burst out. People stood up and applauded. When I came down from the stage, Minjin and Sohee came running. "Mom, you were really amazing." Minjin hugged me. Sohee also hugged me while shedding tears. "I'm proud of you, Mom." Junho also came. "Grandma, you're the best. I want to be like you." I hugged my grandchild tightly. "Thank you, our Junho." After the event ended, I returned home. I was tired but happy. I took out the silver notebook and opened the last page. Today I closed this notebook. This notebook contains every moment of my life. Happy moments, sad moments, desperate moments. Moments when I regained hope. Memories with my husband, memories of raising children, friendship with Sister Sunja, and records of new beginnings. All precious stories. I now know there's no such thing as too late in life. Even at 68, you can make a new start, and even at 70, you can fulfill dreams. The most important thing is believing in yourself. Don't be swayed by others' eyes. Know your own worth. I learned that. I'll continue to live as long as I can. Together with the elderly people, together with my children, I'll live happily. And if someday someone listening to this story can gain hope, That alone will make my life meaningful. Eunyoung, 70 years old, representative of Silver Craft Café, mentor to 200 members, mother of 2 children, grandmother of 1 grandchild, and above all, one person living confidently as herself. Closing the notebook, tears came. They were happy tears. I didn't know the second half of my life would be this beautiful. I lay in bed looking at the ceiling. What will happen tomorrow? I'm excited. Even though I'm 70, every day is exciting. This is really living. Before falling asleep, I had a final thought. Sister Sunja, look, I'm really happy. I'm living as you wished. Thank you. And I love you. The next morning I woke up early. When I opened the window, sunlight came in. It was warm. Today seemed like it would be a good day. On the way to the workshop, I passed through the park. It was the park where I used to sit on the bench every day looking at the silver notebook 2 years ago. I sat on the bench for a moment. An elderly lady was sitting alone. I spoke to her. Hello, are you alone? The lady nodded. Yes, I came out for a walk. I handed her a workshop business card. If you have time, please come here. It's a place where elderly people gather and have a good time. The lady looked at the card. What do you do here? The lady asked. I explained with a smile. You can learn crafts, make friends, and drink tea. Don't you feel lonely? Interest showed in the lady's eyes. Can an old person like me go? Of course. I'm also 70 years old. Age doesn't matter, I assured her. The lady thanked me and took the card. I'll visit once. I was happy. I felt I could give hope to another person. I arrived at the workshop. When I opened the door, a familiar scene unfolded. Elderly people working, sounds of laughing and talking, warm coffee aroma. Boss, good morning. Minji greeted. Yes. Good morning. Let's do our best today too, I answered. Kyung-suk and other staff also greeted me. The elderly people arrived one by one. Boss, hello. Everyone greeted brightly. I also greeted each person. Hello. Have a good day today. The morning program started. It was a knitting class. There were new people and longtime members. Everyone participated enthusiastically. Lunchtime came. I prepared food with the staff. It was simple kimbap and tteokbokki. I ate with the elderly people. Boss, are you happy like this every day? One lady asked. I answered with a smile. Yes, I'm really happy. It's thanks to you all. In the afternoon, a new lady visited. It was the lady I had met at the park in the morning. You came. Welcome. I greeted her warmly. I guided the lady and introduced the workshop. Other elderly people also greeted her. The lady gradually smiled. This place is really nice. It's warm. Yes. This is everyone's home. Feel comfortable, I said. The lady thanked me with teary eyes. I understood those tears. I had been like that too. The day ended. The elderly people left one by one. See you tomorrow. Goodbye. Everyone greeted and left. After finishing cleanup, I also headed home. The evening sky was beautiful. The sunset was dyed red. It was the end of a beautiful day. I arrived home, showered, and changed into comfortable clothes. I ate a simple dinner and sat on the sofa. I didn't turn on the TV. I just sat quietly. I felt happy. In quiet moments like this, in busy moments, I was happy. I loved my life. My phone rang. It was Minjin. Mom, did you have dinner? Yes, I ate. How about you? Yes, I ate too. Mom, take care of your health. Thank you. Minjin, you take care too. I hung up and smiled. I was grateful my son worried about his mother. I also sent a text to Sohee. Sohee, it's Mom. Are you doing well? I love you. A reply came soon. Mom, I'm doing well too. I love you. Let's meet this weekend. I lay in bed and recalled today. The lady I met at the park, time with the elderly people, the evening sunset, contact with my children. Every moment was precious. This is life. Small moments every day come together to become life. Not big events, but ordinary days like this are real life. I was satisfied with my life. Of course it's not perfect. There will be hard moments and painful moments. But it's okay. I can overcome them. I who despaired at 68, didn't know I would be this happy at 70. Life is truly unpredictable. You never know when or how it will change. That's why you must not give up. You have to live until the end. I proved it. Age is just a number, and you can make a new start anytime. Before falling asleep, I looked outside the window. Stars were shining. Am I shining like that too? Small starlight. But can I be hope for someone? I wanted to believe that. If my story can give someone courage, my life is sufficiently valuable. I closed my eyes. Tomorrow will also be a good day. The day after, and the day after that. Every day I'm alive is a blessing. I am Eunyoung, 70 years old, representative of Silver Craft Café, and above all, one person who loves my life. If you enjoyed this story, please hit the subscribe and like buttons, and leave a word of encouragement in the comments.